Joining us right here on ET Now is the Wipro Chief Executive, Mr. Abidali Neemuchwala. Thanks very much for being with us. I know you're in your silent period. You still have results to announce. So I'm not going to ask you any forward-looking statements. But if you look at the results that your peers announced, whether it's TCS or Infosys, this quarter, it's pretty mixed. This hasn't been the best quarter, but they do expect an upward trend in key markets like the US going forward. I'm not going to ask you to make forward-looking predictions, but what is your assessment of demand?
I think the industry is undergoing a fundamental transformation where there is a lot of pressure on the run side of the business because cost efficiencies which drive hyper automation, which drive efficiencies do result into a revenue cannibalization for the industry. And on the other hand, there is huge opportunity on the digital. Only thing is that digital spend the decisions on digital spend start getting made as there is more certainty in the environment. And because of a little bit of uncertainty coming into the environment, there's a little headwind on that side. But I think in the long term, the outlook, I'm very positive about.
So when you talk about spendings, will we see discretionary spending make a comeback now that the election headwind, the election hangover is over?
I think once there is a little bit of certainty, as I said, the best example I can give you is when we have leadership position in the oil and energy industry.
Yes, right.
And when the oil price was low and when it was fluctuating, we did see lack of decision making in that area and not sufficient spend. But once the companies know that they have to have their business models at a $50 a barrel oil price, then the business models adjust to them, our services adjust to what they would need, and then we see an uptick. So similarly, I think once the uncertainty around what is going to happen with the Trump administration is out and the policies are more clear, I think we will see spending coming.
So when you say you will see spending coming back, what is the impact on outsourcing budgets going to be? Are you picking up any early trends, any early signs from your clients just yet?
Again, for the long run, I think there is technology is coming in every product. So overall technology spend is going to continue to increase. Again, I'll just avoid making statements about what I see in the immediate future. But overall, I'm very optimistic about the industry.
The other big thing is how do you manage talent in a market like this and in a rhetoric like this? H-1B visa issue is going to up for review and perhaps a rethink there. How does this change things for you? Are you going to be hiring more on-site, on-source?
So we'll work on two flanks. One is, work with NASSCOM and represent from an industry perspective because we want to play in a very fair environment like any other industry player would want to play. And we will continue to impress upon the governments that, this needs to be a fair play. On the other hand, the industry has been preparing for a while, and especially Wipro, in terms of hiring locally. We have a large contingent of US local hires across various other geographies in UK, in Singapore, in Saudi Arabia, other places we've made localization and diversity is part of our strategy. So in the long run, I think as long as we find STEM talent and, we help invest in STEM talent, we should be able to tide over the visa crisis.
So it's been almost 3 months since that acquisition of Apperio happened. It's the second largest acquisition in Wipro's history. What kind of revenue flow are you seeing just yet as things are?
Again, now we have leadership position in the cloud application space, which I feel very good about. And there's a lot of synergy that can be derived. So overall, I feel very upbeat about it. It's about just 1.5 months that Apperio has been with us. The integration has just started. On the front-end business side, our existing customers love that we are becoming a provider of the future for them, and that makes me feel very excited.
So when you took over as CEO last year, you made a very ambitious target of $15 billion in revenues by 2020. As things are, we're still under 10. Are you willing to review and rethink that target just yet?
So I won't call it a target. I will call it's an ambition 15 by 20. And I think that ambition has motivated the entire organization. And we're making steady progress towards it. So I feel very confident that, it may not be exactly 15, but I think we're directionally going to be there and we're making all the right moves. We're executing with a lot of discipline on our strategy. And the most important thing is that our customers find our strategy very relevant. So I feel very upbeat about it.
So at least you're on your way to meeting 15 even if you don't get there by 2020. I get that point. But what about margins? People are a little worried and concerned about the margins trajectory for Wipro. When do you see that 23% being achieved?
Again, we're just too close to our results, but overall, I think our business model supports the margin ambition that we have articulated. So I feel quite comfortable. I think right now we are in an investment phase because there's a large amount of investments happening in our business as the business is transforming, and we've, by design, taken a decision to be able to support those investments for the short term.
I'm going to get into semantics and ask you a more big picture question. Wipro for a while has been work in progress. What will and when will Wipro turn to win in progress? I mean, what is holding the company back despite the many reorganizations of structures that we've seen?
I think, partly it has been that, there are certain areas, for example, we are a leader in telecom, we are a leader in energy, and some of the macro areas of that have had certain strategic bets that we took, which might not have worked out well. So, fundamentally, it's a very strong organization, very innovative organization. Traditionally, when the whole industry was moving more towards de-skilling and pyramid, Wipro maintained its core of heavy engineering and technology company, and today in digital, everything is technology.
Indeed.
So I feel very upbeat that, we see a lot of wind right now and we are headed in the right direction.
So you're working with somebody as iconic as Azim Premji. What is it like to work with him? Is he as active? What is the mandate from him? Is he involved with day-to-day operations? Does he keep a tab on things?
So number one, it's very humbling to work with a personality like him, but I thoroughly enjoy because it's huge learning for me. And then I'm also very fortunate because this is a time of high responsiveness. And, the Apperio acquisition, just as an example, we did it in flat 3 weeks since we came to know about the opportunity and closing the deal. And I couldn't have done it without an owner-promoter like him, where one phone call could have enabled me to take a decision of that size. So it's great working with him, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
So last questions then. We saw your big congratulations coming in for your former boss, N. Chandra at TCS. In hindsight, are there any regrets at all about quitting? Because you could have well been the chief executive. You could have well been in that hot seat if you were there. You're of course doing a tremendous job at Wipro, but I'm just saying we all have the benefit of hindsight when we speak today.
Well, that's a hypothetical question, but I wish Chandra all the best, and I think I'm very happy for him.
And does Chandra's exit change the landscape for Indian IT, the pecking order maybe?
I think, Indian IT is a very robust industry, and, I think there's great times ahead for Indian IT.
On that note, thanks very much for speaking to us. That's Abidali Neemuchwala in conversation with us right here in Davos on ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ET Now, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ET Now Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ET Now.